Spain single-handedly, you feel, with that hairstyle. Unmistakable figure. One of the more competent referees in La Liga. And he awards a free kick as Ander Herrera goes down.
It's Baena there, the midfield man. Just catching Ander. He's just got the wrong side of him, and that's certainly going to be something that Baena and Javi Marquez just got to watch out for him, Ander, because he's a clever player. He'll try and play in between those players and the centre-halves of Amat and Ruiz.
Javier Paredes then stood over the ball here. The first real attacking opportunity that Zaragoza have created in this match. It's a good delivery by Paredes, and Jarosic was just looking to get on the end of it.
Well, the ball in is absolutely fine here, isn't it? Looks like he's offside there, Jarosic, and Cinema Pangol as well, I think, at the near post there. A little bit too far ahead of the centre-half.
He had to open his account so far this season for Zaragoza. His last goal all the way back in the 27th of March of last year in a 3-0 win against Valencia. Lovely turn in the centre. Just fell across by Chica, nice into Didac. And Javi Marquez brought down. And Herrera and a free kick. Espànyol, it's taken quickly by Javi Marquez.
Again, a little bit like Ander for Zaragoza. Verdu is that link man, that player just in behind the striker Osvaldo.
It's a good ball over the top, and he's onside as Espànyol take the lead. Dani Osvaldo marks his return to the starting 11 with an opportunistic header. With 7 minutes on the clock, it's Espànyol 1, Zaragoza 0.
I talked about the problems Zaragoza had, and you look at some of their players and thought they were decent players defensively. Maybe here's an indication of how they're playing right now. It's basically a straightforward ball in, Dan, isn't it? There's one player, the lone striker Osvaldo. I'm sure there's 3-4 players that are back there for Zaragoza. Nobody decides to pick him up. Yes, it was a great ball in with a left foot, a nice shape to it. It's an excellent little glancing header from Osvaldo. All credit to him, but even so, two centre-halves, Jarosic and Lazaro. One of them's got to be tighter to Osvaldo.
Like statues, weren't they? They're obviously looking for the offside, but the replay shows that the Italian was certainly in line with the back four. Osvaldo's 7th goal of the season. Zaragoza have their work cut out now. Verdu. In for the run of Chica down the right. Just unable to keep the ball in.
Both Chico and Didac will get forward from full-back position for Espànyol, just to assist, because they are dominating possession. And when that happens, normally the full-backs will try and get involved to add an extra dimension, some extra width maybe, if the wide players decide to roll inside, but I'm sure they will at times.
I think it's Jose Callejon who played the ball across to Osvaldo, his 5th assist of the season. The 23-year-old has really been key in Espanyol's success so far this campaign. And you look at it, it's a really young team that Pochettino's got out there. The back four, pretty much, this is all their first full seasons after making the trade up from Espanyol B. Just shows the quality that's in this squad. In the youth system here at Espanyol. And 10 minutes on the clock. Pochettino's side who have a 1-0 lead here at home. Jarosic to Carlos Diogo. The Uruguayan just looking to flick it over the top and does exactly that. A nice little ball into Gavi.
Sometimes you look at defenders, Dan, and you've just talked about the young ones that Espànyol have got? Well, there's certainly plenty of experience in Lanzano and Jadasic, 28 and 32 and 33 years of age respectively. So it's not about experience, it's just maybe lazy defending or bad concentration of why you wouldn't see out a runner, particularly as there's only one player there going for the cross.
Nicely by Edmilson. Kameni comes out, first real touch that the Cameroon international has had in this game. And it's the home fans who are singing at the moment. Sergio Garcia just warming up on the touchline. This ball into Callajon. In the end, little options really for the midfielder.
Well, they haven't won any games in the league away from home this season, Zaragoza, and the approach here is a defensive one, it's a cautious one, it's one of a team that looks to me like it's struggling for belief, for confidence that it can go away from home and get a result. Very much, we talked about the players that they have, but they're all playing very defensively. The back four is very deep as well, just almost inviting Espànyol to come forward.
Chica to Raul Baena. This little turn by Luis Garcia. Just finds Chica on the overlap. This passing is headed away for Espànyol's second corner of the match.
They've been bright start from Espànyol. Plenty of movement from those front players. Some Verdu involved already. Luis Garcia, Callajon certainly on the left-hand side. A little problem here. Pochettino.
It's Javi Marquez who's gone down, and Pochettino just indicating that the substitution looks likely to be made. Marquez, I don't think will be able to continue. Meanwhile, the corner is whipped in. Is it Sergio Garcia?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very attack-minded Javi Marquez, the player that's struggling. Dan is a central midfield man and very involved in this game already, actually, Marquez, so it will be a blow. Well, Sergio Garcia comes into the match, is obviously an attacking player. Somebody will drop in, and I guess it's going to be Juan Verdu that will, if it is the changes to be made, Juan Verdu, I would have to imagine, will play alongside Baena. These are two central midfield players, and then of course they can bring in Sergio Garcia, and somebody else can fill Verdu's position just in behind Osvaldo.
Well, Sergio Garcia played 90 matches for Zaragoza between 2005 and 2008. He'll make a certainly earlier than expected appearance here against his old club. Marquez coming off. Sergio Garcia has a Euro 2008 winners medal in his trophy collection, having travelled to Germany with the Spanish side, where of course it was the most major trophy that they'd ever won. As the long shot was played in. Garcia joining Espànyol from Betis for $2.3 million.
That's worth an effort, isn't it? We've seen nothing really so far of the midfield players of Zaragoza. Nielsen, Gabi in there. For the most part, have really been chasing the ball. There's Verdu there. He certainly has dropped into a more of a conventional central midfield position. Not quite sure who's moved into the hole just yet, but actually, when you look at the three midfield players ahead of those two, any of them really could do that job.
Long ball over the top, looking for Sergio Garcia. through to Cinema upon goal. I think that's the first time we mentioned his name, haven't we, Robbie? That just shows how Espanyol have dominated the opening quarter of an hour of this match.
You're absolutely right. I'm not sure whether he's touched the ball, in fact. I'm sure he probably has, but you're right. And he won't appreciate bad balls like that. When they do get possession towards Zaragoza, they have to take care of it. They have to make sure they maintain possession, just to give maybe the defenders a little bit of a break and midfield players from trying to win the ball back, closing it down all the time. When you get the ball, you have to take care of it and try and manoeuvre the ball into the attacking third.
Espanyol very much dominating this game so far. It's reflected in their 1-0 lead. Osvaldo. So Callajon was caught late. There was Ed Milson who just left his foot in. Advantage played by the referee. Verdu just looking for Garcia. Well, Muñoz Fernandez playing the advantage, then just having a word with Ed Milson. 34 years of age, the Brazilian now, very much in the twilight of his career.
Let's just take another look at that. It's a little clumsy, isn't it? Late, certainly late. The referee just giving him probably, well, it has to be his final warning.
Luis Garcia uses the ball to Ed Milson. Garcia towards Valdo, into Sergio Garcia. Nice build-up play here by Espanyol as Luis Garcia's ball over the top is just chested back by Ferraris. Diogo. Slightly lazy in the clearance and it's blocked by Callajon. Callajon with another decent delivery into the box. Once again, Osvaldo was the target.
He's got a job on, hasn't he? Javier Aguirre, Zaragoza coach. Half the job, half the battle really is motivating the players down, because the confidence obviously takes a hit when you lose a lot of games. The Sociedad result obviously will help, but you just get a feeling that sometimes away from home they're thinking, oh, here we go again, you know, not much joy, not much possession. Maybe he's going to change it right now.
It might change with the Arasic. He made the run from defence, and now Espanyol looking to catch the visitors on the break. Callajon, the Hollywood pass, and it works. Cross into Garcia. It's a good turn in the centre by Osvaldo. Maybe one touch too many from the Italian. Paredes clears, and it's a clumsy challenge by Chica.
Well, you can understand Espanyol, anytime the ball goes forward, they're very keen to be very tight to these attacking players. I actually think it goes into the book, doesn't he, Amat? Young defender, getting a chance. It's Gabby, the midfield man, that just made a little run forward. Even if he does take the ball, it's through the back of the midfield man there from Amat.
Over the top, looking for Lafita. Keeps it in. It's over the head of Simar on goal, but it's in by Lopez, and he will go out for a goal kick. Lafita, doubt going into this game, but lost a late fitness test. And Zaragoza have their first corner of the game. Jorge Lopez with the delivery. Zaro, I think, was the target man. Just headed over.
Lafita's another man that we've just seen there as in a close-up shot, but haven't seen him up to this point in the game or be involved in the game. Again, it's four players have had to mostly track and worry about Espanyol players instead of worrying about their own attacking game. Lafita, a player that can do damage again, like Ander and Jorge Lopez, but just don't seem to be in the attacking mindset early on here.
In the back there from Jorge Lopez, of course, the 21st minute, as is tradition here at the Torneo El Prat. The round of applause that reverberates around the stadium.
Well, they're in total control right now, Espanyol. Knocking around at will at the back there. Sinan Pongol is the lone striker, gets caught in between the two central defenders. It means one of them's always spare to bring the ball out, and it's all about distribution.
He's commemorating the death of Danny Harke, their captain. I think that's a nicer tradition than the silence that we've seen on occasions that other clubs have implemented, because it almost gives it an eerie feel, doesn't it? As Garcia plays the ball through to the centre. It was Luis Garcia who then had the opportunity. The ball just got away from him.
Now, Luis Garcia is the player, Dan, that's moved inside. He's the one that was on the right, is now playing centrally in behind Osvaldo. And I tell you what, he's been involved as well since that move has happened. Good play here from the substitute Sergio Garcia. What a nice little through ball it was. Does everything right here, really. Other players, maybe, Dan, will sense the goalkeeper coming out, and if there was any type of contact there, could have gone to ground, particularly as the touch was a heavy one. He's a little frustrated because he knows at the end of the day that was a one-on-one chance.
Espanyol looking so comfortable at the moment. As Gabby gives away the free kick. Long ball over the top. Finds Osvaldo. That would have been something special there from the Italian. He's opened the scoring earlier on in this match. His 7th goal of the season. Got 7 last campaign as well, but that took 20 matches. This just 14 games.
They're lacking a little bit of inspiration, aren't they, Zaragoza, really? They're a goal down, we know that. You know, I think the coach will want to see the team try and get back into the game, try and be a little bit more expansive. Get forward and get on the ball. Again, it's going to be a stop here, stoppage in play.
Just fouled slightly awkwardly, the Espanyol player. Chico was at the centre of controversy last week. He went down with some theatrics that saw Adjarif get sent off in that 2-1 defeat against Valencia. Given away.
Let's see what they do with the ball in this possession here, Dan, because they've got plenty of time here. There's no high pressure from Espanyol. Gone for a long ball, difficult ball, but he's found it.
That's what they can do with it, give it away. Garcia just brought down. Tapped by Jorge Lopez. Sergio Garcia lifts it over the top to Osvaldo. He looks up for it today. It was a good challenge by Lanzaro. Appeals from the penalty coming from the fans.
Well, certainly that's the second time in the last few minutes that a player has got in behind those defenders of Zaragoza again. This time there was a good challenge that came in. Looks to be an option that's readily available for Espanyol. I don't through ball, whether it's along the ground or over the top as it was in this case. Let's just check out the defending there. It's very clean, doesn't it, in all fairness, from Lazaro. He made the challenge with his wrong foot, if you like, going that side. He manoeuvred his body and hooked the ball away with his right foot.
Slightly worrying scenes here for Espanyol. It looks like Osvaldo may have to come off. He returned from injury this week, trained well, so much so that Pochettino recalled the Italian to the starting 11. Of course, rewarded Pochettino's gamble by scoring the opening goal, but he's being placed on the stretcher now. And it looks like Espanyol are going to have to make their second change with only 26 minutes on the clock. Their other striking option, Álvaro Vázquez, the 19-year-old. The only other option that Pochettino has.
It really is a shame for Osvaldo. Got a good goal. He's back from his injury that he had a couple of games ago. It's a nightmare, isn't it? It looks like a groin strain, didn't it? It just fell awkwardly as that challenge came in. I don't know, but two injured players is bad news here. Let's just take a look again here. The challenge is he reaches around with his right foot there. It's a good challenge. Something just goes, doesn't it, as he tumbles over on a big striker.
Seemed to know straight away that something was wrong. Pochettino just taking a moment before he makes the change. So as it stands, Espanyol down to 10 men. That doesn't stop the home team from winning the ball back. Sergio Garcia. It's Raul Garcia who's just taken Osvaldo's place, and we know that Espanyol captain can play there. So will Pochettino be tempted to put Raul Garcia up front and maybe bring on someone like Aldo Ducha?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. He's got good options there. Both of Garcias can play up front. As they go with Vázquez, Álvaro Vázquez, the youngster that's on the bench, 19 years of age. Just 3 appearances. I'd be tempted to give him a go, Dan, but let's see what Pochettino thinks.
Nice turn. And surely that's a penalty. Straight in front to the referee, who points to the spot. Clumsy challenge by Carlos Diogo. An absolute gift for Espanyol, who now have the chance, you imagine, through Luis Garcia to double their advantage.
It is going to be the youngster comes on, Dan, which I'm pleased to see. I think it's going to help now that they're probably going to go 2-0 up, but, you know, a striker. Osvaldo's injured. Let's have another look at this boy, 19 years of age, Álvaro Vázquez. Through the B team here at this football club. 7 goals last season for Espanyol B. So they got a goal in the top flight.
Luis Garcia, 2-0. The Espanyol captain leading by example. Never any doubt really, was that Leo Franco had no chance. It's Espanyol 2, Zaragoza 0.
More frustration on the face of Leo Franco. Can't believe what's happening in front of him with his back four. What a bad challenge it was for Carlos Andres Diogo. Calayon, who's a bright boxer, tricks the best of times. I mean, it's just a lunge in from behind there, nowhere near the ball. And of course, Luis Garcia, what a confident penalty that was from him. Right into the corner with good power. 2-0 up now. What a job on now for Real Zaragoza and Javier Aguirre.
Really is going to take something special now for the visitors to get back into this game. They've been completely outplayed so far in this match. Espanyol thoroughly deserving of their lead. I suppose Pochettino's main worry now that his team don't pick up any more injuries. Already, Javi Marquez and Dani Osvaldo coming off.
You know, sometimes you can accept a defeat, Dan, and you can accept, going to difficult places. But I think as a coach, you can't accept your players not really giving their all. And I don't see Zaragoza really throwing themselves into challenges, really looking like they're a team that want to drag themselves away from the relegation zone.
Callejon is causing so much trouble down that left flank. Makes a hash of the cross, though. I'm sure his teammates can accept his apology.
Well, he's looking bright, isn't he? Plays the ball inside, follows his pass, gets a return ball and just gets the cross all wrong. He holds his hands up there in apology, but he's had an excellent first 32 minutes nearly.
Callejon's played more games than any other Espanyol player this season. You can see why he's the first name on Pochettino's team sheet. Vasquez, who played for Espanyol's second team last season, has already got a goal for the first team. That was in a clash against Osasuna earlier on this campaign. There's another Espanyol player down, this time Johan Verdu. He needs treatment, but it's not a relief as he gets back onto his feet.
He just gets caught there with the player, his legs, leg in between his legs. So be as concerned, you're right, injuries, Pochettino. Doing a very good job at this football club now into his third season, Espanyol, and really progressing this club. Last season, 11th place, the season before that 10th. This time, a real chance to get towards those European spots.
And the only block, of course, that defeat against Barcelona here, the 5-0 win for Pep Guardiola's side. And apart from that, it's been a perfect record here at the Cornellà Prat Stadium. It really has made the difference. A great stadium just by the airport in Barcelona, if you've ever been to the city before. A much better venue than their old stadium, the old Olympic Stadium. And a chance for three. A chance that's taken in some style as well. One absolute cracker from Álvaro Vázquez. He's only been on the pitch a matter of minutes. What a finish that was from the 19-year-old. It's Espanyol 3, Zaragoza 0.
Well, he's got to be pleased with his decision to bring on the young striker, hasn't he, Pochettino? What a great touch and a great finish this is. There was a mistake in midfield, certainly, by Zaragoza. The ball is turned over, but the young striker found himself in between two defenders and still had work to do when the ball was played through. Fantastic first touch initially, then what a good second one as well. The outside of his right foot, he's fresh into the game. We talk about players getting up to match speed. My goodness, what a classy finish that was for Álvaro.
His second ever goal in La Liga, and certainly one he won't forget for a while. What a cheeky finish, and what does Javi Aguirre do now? Zaragoza have been dreadful, and Espanyol have punished them.
Well, you think about the 3 goals, Dan, you're absolutely right. First ball in, nobody defended the cross. Second one, awful decision and a lunge in from Diogo. The third one, a bad giveaway in midfield. They've been they've made their own problems, certainly, Zaragoza, with the 3 goals.
They've been their own worst enemy all season at the back, and that is why they are in the relegation zone. But something you said before, Robbie, where's the desire, where's the spark, where's the drive? We've seen none of that so far from the visitors.
In simple terms, you can evaluate performance very easily. In possession and out of possession. Out of possession, we've seen they've been awful, trying to stop the opponents playing and creating chances. In possession, they've been awful as well because they haven't managed to keep hold of the ball. They haven't strung 3, 4, 5 passes together at all. And as a coach, you have to work on those 2 major parts of the game, the real only parts of the game. And you have to say Zaragoza have been really bad in both sides of it.
for many. There's been a spectator 35 minutes of this match. Kayahon's gone down in the challenge of Manzaro. Pochettino not happy. His medical staff have been kept busy so far in this match.
I think they've worked harder than some of the Zaragoza players.
Week 18 of La Liga. It's proven to be a good one for Espànyol. Do they need to drive the cart on for that? It's Didac who's down. And the last thing you want is Pochettino is to have to make the third substitution before you even enter the 40th minute of a game.
Oh, there it is. It's just like a shoulder barge. I'm sure he's winded. I think he might be okay, Dan, to be honest. The shoulder barge right into his midriff there. You can see he's holding his belly there. Just needs to get his air back in his lungs for a few seconds. I think he's going to be okay.
Well, Chico with the throw-in. To find Álvaro Vázquez. So many factors, isn't there, put into consideration just how good that goal was from Álvaro Vázquez. As you mentioned, just on the pitch, just trying to get up to match speed. Also, he's only 19 years of age. Sign of a good player, isn't it? Just no fear.
Yeah, and also knowing where to be. I think he must have spotted the turnover very quickly and got himself in between defenders, Dan. And it sounds easy. That's how you get the space, and the through ball was excellent, but the first touch laid it perfectly in front of him, actually in between his feet. That's why he had to kind of manoeuvre himself and hit the shot with the outside of his right foot. Here's again, it's just a little nasty, isn't it, from Jorge Lopez, the right side of midfield player who's in direct competition with Didac.
I think you call it right though, Dr. Musto. It did look like he was just winded. Back on his feet now and back in action and on the ball.
I think this player here who's just played a nice ball there has enjoyed the little change in position. Luis Garcia moved inside, more central, been involved in a lot of good things for Espànyol.
Of course, scored the second goal as well from the spot. Just the third player who is playing in La Liga at the moment, who scored the most penalty kicks behind David Villa with 31, and Raúl Temudo, of course, Espànyol player on 30. That's Luis Garcia's 18th spot kick in his career. Followed by Álvaro Vázquez's super strike. Little back heel, what a lovely back heel that was from Vázquez.
Now you gotta love it. Gotta love the confidence, haven't you?
You're sure you're just 19? It's been brilliant from the youngster so far. Cajajon into Luis Garcia. Out for a throw-in. You get the feeling, Robbie, the referee could go into the dressing rooms at half-time and say, 3-0, you happy with that? Will you take that? I think both teams would, wouldn't they? Zaragoza just want to go home.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long, but certainly a long second half, but a long game now, isn't it, for Zaragoza, because they've shown nothing at all from the start. They show us no reason or any belief that they can get back into the game. There's Verdu with again, how many times have we seen that ball in behind where Espànyol have got onto it? And a clever little flick there, almost found his striking partner.
Didac. Flick from Vázquez finds Verdu, and from Luis Garcia, since the ball goes out for a throw-in.
Well, they're a good side, and I've heard people question Espànyol and where they are in La Liga, and what does this mean about the strength of La Liga, that Espànyol can be so high up in the league. But I tell you, I've seen them quite a few times this season.
Didac, the ball into Sergio Garcia. He's still looking for his first goal in an Espànyol shirt. He'd love to score against his old side here today.
Didac, the left full back, getting forward here. Sergio Garcia this time got himself into a central position, just a high foot there.
Okay, Lopez to Cinema upon goal. It's the first chance that we've seen Zaragoza create in this match, and the Frenchman blasts it high and wide.
Yeah, just a little bit of lack of composure here. It's a good run, isn't it? Spots the opportunity, all that space in behind, and just lashes at the ball a touch. That's a little bit of control here. I bet you can understand it, Dan. He's had nothing, has he? Nothing to work with in this first half.
He's had to feed on scraps. That's the best opportunity that he's had on loan at the moment from Sporting Portugal. In this league with Atletico Madrid and Racing. He made his name in the world of football in the 19 World Cup. Of course, he joined Liverpool as a result of his performance there. Never really made the impact on the English Premier League that I think many expected him to. 1-1 done left by Lafita. It's easy for Kameni though. Again, a long ball over the top, doing damage. Álvaro Vázquez looking to set up Sergio Garcia. Callejon just switch flanks with Luis Garcia for the moment. As the ball goes in over the top, I'm not sure if Leo Franco got a touch.
Zaragoza got absolutely no answers to the questions being set by Espànyol. Even Juan Verdu there is a midfield man, and somebody just lets him run. Gets in behind, clips a lovely little ball towards the back post there.
Fans thoroughly enjoying themselves here. There's Leo Franco. Punches the ball, but it's far from clear. Sergio Garcia. That's on the second here in this stadium.
There's again, as you said, another ball over the top. I like this as well. He's trying to do the right thing there. He's got great awareness. That's the situation there. He's a youngster, Dan. He could be thinking about scoring himself or shooting, but he's got the awareness to try and pick out his partner. Here's where Verdu comes through, and I'm thinking, well, who's going to go with him? Anybody want to run with him? To track that run, he's coming from a deep position. There's plenty of midfield players that can track it. There he's there, number 11. You see him. There's 14, Gabby, the midfield player. I'm not going to see it there, but I'm sure Verdu's just going to run past him.
That's played over the top. With a little flick on into Didac. Ball over the top into Vázquez. Zaragoza with a rare attack. Oh, nicely done by Chica. Although he gives it away. It's just been too easy, hasn't it, for Espànyol to win back possession in this match.
Yeah, I mean, it's not particularly what they're doing without the ball. It's the way that Zaragoza have been poor in passing it, decision making, and there that time was guilty of giving the ball away, and of course then they give it away and have to regroup and drop off and try and win the ball back again.
Just knocks it into Didac. Top chest down though. Wasn't the best by Kayakon. Just gives Anka Lafita the chance to run at Chica. Lafita does well. Sets the ball up into the centre. And it's still with Gabby. Wilson. Carlos Diogo. Gabby with some space. Now Jorge Lopez gives the ball away. Carlos Diogo does well to keep possession for the visitors there as Jorge Lopez plays it back into Gabby.
Well, finally, Dan, some good play from Zaragoza. A couple of minutes there where they kept the ball well. They look quite bright.
Sergio Garcia just stopped his run as the ball was knocked over the top.
That play from earlier there. And Gabby gets drawn across here. Nobody thinks about his man. It's too late in the end. Verdu comes across. Just a little goalkeeper gets a little touch on the ball there.
I'm not sure if actually hit the crossbar as well. Good football from Espanyol. You mentioned it before. Pochettino has got his side playing good attacking stuff, and it's resulted in a 3-0 score at half-time. Thoroughly deserved for Luis Garcia and co, Robbie.
Yeah, I thought it was a very, very good performance, particularly on the back of exiting the Copa del Rey. Very confident, very good, with some excellent goals and brilliant play from Espanyol.
It certainly has been. Goals coming from Dani Osvaldo, Luis Garcia and Álvaro Vázquez means we go into the break here at the Corneo Al Prat Stadium. Espanyol very much in control with a 3-0 lead. Zaragoza then get the second half underway here live on ESPN at the Corneo Al Prat Stadium. Espanyol 3, Zaragoza 0. I imagine there were a couple of expletives expressed by Javier Aguirre, the Zaragoza coach, at half-time. Will they make a difference?
Well, you've got to think there's got to be some kind of reaction, Dan. 3-0 away from home. I think as a coach you want to see your players give a little bit more. My goodness, I thought they were very poor in the first half.
They finished the first half with a little more intent that we'd seen from the rest of the game. Ball over the top to Cinema Pongo.
I think you just want to see it, apart from a little bit of desire, a bit of work rate, a little bit of quality, Dan. Just keep possession of the ball. I mean, it's not, it's not as though Espanyol are a really strong defending team that won't allow you a little bit of space to play. It's just when they have had the ball, they've given it away too cheaply. We've seen nothing of Jorge Lopez on the right, Lafita, a couple of touches. It really has been a very one-sided match so far.
Verdu into Kayakon, both teams unchanged for this second half. Remember, Espanyol though forced to make 2 substitutions in the first half. Injuries to Osvaldo and Javi Marquez saw the introduction of Sergio Garcia and Álvaro Vázquez. Zaragoza on the attack, and you talked about quality and lack of it. That certainly epitomised it there.
Absolutely. And there he is, I think he's a player to watch out for. Again, he's maybe getting dragged down with the standard of the team he's playing in at the moment. I think he's got a lot of quality on there, but you're absolutely right. That's where you want the team just to make 2 or 3 passes, just to beat that initial press, get some possession.
Kayakon brings it back into Jordi Amat, the only player who was booked actually in the first half. Going into play once again up front, Luis Garcia. Brings it in. Well, he didn't think there were any substitutions, but Nicolas Bartola has come on.
Adam Pinter as well there in your picture. The defenders into the game as well. Hopefully we can confirm these substitutions at some point. I think when you look at the game situation, Javier Aguirre's got to make changes, Dan. And, you know, whether Bartola certainly is an attacking substitution. He's a left-sided midfield player.
Well, it's Adam Pinter who has come on to replace Edmilson in the centre. As you say, Javier Aguirre almost forced to make changes. It was such a flat first half performance from the visitors. Garcia. Verdu into Callejon. What's nice to see from Jose Callejon, he's not scared to run at people. Yes, he gives away the ball occasionally, but you much prefer to see that than always looking to pass it long. Nice turn by Gary. Back heel. And a chance for Zaragoza, one that's wasted.
That's Lafita. He's switched across the other side, Dan. He's on the right-hand side now. Bartolo is on the left-hand side. Jorge Lopez has been the player who took him out of the match here. Driving inside, Lafita. Saw very little of him in the first half, and surely the second half can't be as bad as the first, so hopefully we'll see a little bit more of Lafita. Similar goal here has said something to the referee and found himself in the book.
Nunez Fernandez to take any sort of dissent from the players, and Samuel Pongol gets his 4th yellow card of the season. It's the first for Zaragoza so far in this game. Nicolas Bartola on, trying to add some much-needed quality to this side as Fernandez got a taste for giving out yellow cards. The second within a minute there as Chico's shown a yellow.
Bartolo's certainly got 9 for goal, 3 goals this season for Zaragoza, which is a pretty big achievement really when you consider where they are in the league right now and how they've been playing.
Very much on loan from Palermo at the moment. Clear. Well, Callejon brought down Paredes, who then handled the ball. The referee gives the free kick earlier as we see the ball just played over the top. Confirmation of that yellow for Chica.
Just a little push there, wasn't it, in the back on that last play as Amat came across and made a good challenge. We'll switch sides for the time being. Callejon and Sergio Garcia.
Is it going to be another yellow card here? So Adam Pinter protesting.
There it is. The youngster's gone into Nielsen's position. Nielsen did nothing, did he, in the first half at all? As you see again, Sergio Garcia getting involved from the left-hand side at the start of this second half.
Ball just given away. Luis Garcia to Baena. The fans in good voice They've thoroughly enjoyed watching their team play here at the Cornellà Prat Stadium. This would be their 8th victory out of 9 at home. And it is a major contributing factor as to why the win, they would move up to 4th in the table. Certainly for the moment. Levante taking on Valencia later on in the day. And Paredes under some pressure. Verdu. Oh, nicely through the legs into Callejon, who is brought down. Never a nice feeling for a footballer, I imagine, Robbie, being done through the legs.
That's right, there's always a little bit of element of embarrassment about it, showboating as well at times. Just gets caught here, Callejon, and he's continued, hasn't he, from the first half. Very bright player, isn't he? Very quick, skillful, enthusiastic, confident.
See with the ball in, Leo Franco comes out and makes the clearance. Now Zaragoza looking to mount something on the counter-attack. Javier Aguirre, of course, such experience. He's with Mexico in the World Cup. Did well with Atletico Madrid as well.
He was there a long time, wasn't he, Aguirre? When you look at a performance like this, Dan, and we don't know, obviously, the result just yet, but, you know, it's a performance that you'd think the manager, the coach, could be in trouble. Now, he took over in November here, so he's relatively, well, obviously very new to it. And you always want a coach to make a kind of immediate impact, and I think just the one win, as you said earlier on, it just shows you what a difficult job this is.
Chica. The overlap. Callejon just flashes it across the box. And then the ball comes to Leo Franco. Up on goal. So Carlos Diogo, who gave away that penalty that led to Espanyol's second goal.
Very good pressure from Espanyol. Well organised, hard-working team. They seem to me, Espanyol, have been impressed with them again tonight, as I was during the week against Atletico Madrid.
For a throw-in. Atleti now against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey. Starts to get a bit interesting, the Spanish Cup now. Chica, good challenge. No harassing. Chica stayed down, but Zaragoza play on. Portola. Just gives it away as Callejon. As for that is Sergio Garcia. Well, we talked about Chica's theatrics that saw Adjariz sent off in their clash against Valencia at Mestalla last week. He stayed down this time. Espanyol with just one substitution left.
Well, I think you were absolutely right when you called it first time down. It's a good challenge. It's a well-timed challenge from Jeličić here. Well, Chico, he twisted it at some point during that challenge, but I thought it was a well-timed challenge. The referee wasn't interested at all in a foul of any kind. And substitutes now will just be getting a little nervous, Dan. I think it could be their time to come into the match. And looking across at Chico and thinking, well, is he going to be okay? Well, Rodriguez, 23-year-old defender, is on the bench for them.
Well, Chico getting a round of applause as he makes his way back onto his feet. Looking particularly comfortable. Sergio Garcia. Up against his own side, of course.
Yeah, he just tries to force his way in between the two players here. Lafita it is, and that's the first one he has to get around. Just get a feeling that Espànyol just took a little bit of power away, if you like. They're not quite the same tempo in their play. It gives Zaragoza a chance to show what they can do. So let's get a look at what they do in possession.
Yarasik runs into trouble. Taken by Joan Verdu. Felt if Zaragoza were going to mount a comeback, they needed a goal early in the second half. That hasn't come. In fact, Kameni hasn't been really tested once again.
At least, as we're seeing now, just saying that, at least they're starting to put a few passes together. Of course, when they give it away, look what happens. Look at all the shirts going back, the yellow shirts. They have to get back on the back foot. Again, 4 or 5 passes, please, from Zaragoza. Needs a man to do it. This man in possession here, and a youngster, but a good footballer.
Oliver looking for Angel Lafita, who goes down. The ball given away by Luis Garcia, who's looking for Callejon, whose brother Juan, his twin brother. They both grew up in the Real Madrid youth system together. His twin brother now at Cordoba. I feel like Callejon's got a bright future ahead of him, as Didac clears the ball for a throw. Now we're gone in this game in the Cornellà Al Prat Stadium. The fans on their feet. Very often, as football fans know, you can feel comfortable at this stage in the game.
Just a handball there, I think, on Cinema Pangol. Plenty of appeals there from Espànyol players. Didac seems to be okay now in the left-back position.
We saw him winded, didn't we, in the first half?
Defended one, haven't they? Just said, the young central defenders Victor Ruiz and Jordi Amat have done well, been strong and aggressive. Fullbacks have defended okay and have got forward in support as well.
I think what will give Espànyol fans hope for the future most definitely is the average age of this team. About 23 years of age, a lot of them youth products as well. They haven't had to spend a lot of money to bring in the likes of Amat, Ruiz, Didac, or Baena.
Yeah, and you look at the transfer dealings in the summer as well. They lost Pareja to Spartak Moscow for 18, nearly $12 million. And Mattioni came in for nearly $2 million.
Chico with the delivery into the box. It's cleared in the end by Carlos Diogo. Of course, the big departure, Raul Tamuro, moving to go to Sociedad.
That's what makes the way they're playing, Dan, all the more impressive. You know, you're on a deficit in transfers. You've sold and you haven't spent the same amount of money on new players. Tamudo, a legend here, really. He left the football club as well, and yet they're still doing very well in this league.
It was an interesting point you raised at half-time, Robbie. The fact that Barcelona came here, won 5-0. It's easy as an outsider to look at La Liga and go, oh, top two, rest are rubbish. But I think you see that quality of some of these games, and certainly some of the teams on show.
Yeah, I think you look at Espànyol and what they've done today, and against Atletico Madrid as well. It also makes you think of how good Barcelona are, by the way, because to rip this team apart 5-0. I mean, it just gives you a little indication of where they're at, Barca, and the football that they're playing.
So Bongo looking for Lafita. Diogo with the ball in. Very easy for the Espanyol defence. Just mentioned the mistakes are certainly becoming more common for Espanyol as the ball is played over the top to Yarrison. We've seen the centre-back on more than one occasion they make those runs, and it goes out for a goal kick. Well, I think the referee may have just overruled his linesman.
It's just Bartolo here trying to get a header towards goal. Very difficult there. It's very high. It's almost going away from goal. But you're absolutely right. Yarrison loves to do that as a central defender. And make those forward runs. It was Ander who picked him out with a nice ball over the top. Just Espanyol, as you always imagine in the second half, where it's been very easy, just lessen the intensity, and it does give a chance for Zaragoza to show us a little bit about their attacking prowess. I like this player as well, down in midfield. Juan Verdo, we saw him playing in the whole start of the game, and then, of course, had to move back into central midfield. Very rarely gives the ball away and will always drift forward as well.
So Dida looking to repeat what he did in the first half to set up the opening goal for Osvaldo. Callejon. And ball given against Gavi.
A long way away there, isn't the referee to give that one?
Fernando, a good 20 yards away from where the incident actually happened. Chica. Verdu. Into Chica, gets the cross in. Cleared by Lanzaro. One in the centre. Space for Garcia. Leo Franco spilled it. Alvaro Vasquez maybe just caught slightly flat-footed there, the youngster.
Yeah, I think he probably was. Maybe wasn't expecting that type of shot to trouble Leo Franco, which it did. And thankfully for him and his team, the defenders were quick on the scene. Garcia here with another challenge from behind again. Staying on the ground here will concern Pochettino.
It's Carlos Diogo who made the challenge. Zaragoza paid $8.3 million for him to get him from Madrid. He's stuck with Zaragoza through thick and thin. It's Callejon. It's into Chica. Deflection. Comes into Verdu. Diogo lifts it over the top, looking for the run of Cinema Pongol.
No, still nothing really from Real Zaragoza that makes us think that anything's going to change too quickly here. As soon as Espanyol start to find a little bit of rhythm again, they really dominate possession. They're doing the thicker things. Callejon is certainly moving around a lot more now, Dan. He's not staying on one flank, he's moving inside. A little bit of interchange going on with Luis Garcia as well.
Sergio Garcia to Verdu. Chico with a force, first time ball over. And it will be last throw of the dice there for Javier Aguirre. Cinema upon goal has been pretty anonymous here tonight. Maybe not the fault of the Frenchman, but of the supply that he's lacked. And we'll see Braulio come on to replace him. The youngster who has 2 goals this season. Not really a game-changing substitution, though, you feel?
I think any substitution is going to be very difficult to be game-changing too much. Braulio is a striker. Cinema Pangol, I thought, was a couple of things. I didn't get a lot of service.
Oh, just got in behind the back four, looking for Lafita.
Yeah, I just thought lack of service, and also didn't do particularly well when the ball came up to him. This is a nice little bit of play, isn't it? And there again, he's a little bit of quality there. And I think it is, you know, it's Sergio Garcia, the attacking player that's made that run back to help out his defence. That's great play.
Really good covering play there by Sergio Garcia. He's 27 years of age. It feels like he's been on the Liga stage for a longer time than that. And he's come in, he comes out in flames. Verdu. Just called. Luis Fernandez showing a yellow card here to Lafita, I think it is. In fact, under Herrera, it's the Zaragoza number 8 who's gone in the referee's book. Must have been for a challenge that maybe the referee played the advantage for.
It's difficult to see from that replay. Was there a little snap there from Ander on Verdu? Whether it was something he said to the referee in passing, I'm not sure.
This has been shown in the yellows. Chica has possession down the right. 20 minutes to go in this game at the Cornellà Prat Stadium. Espànyol with a 3-0 lead over Zaragoza. Good thing that they can take from this game, Zaragoza, is the fact that Almeria and Sporting Gijón are both losing at the moment. Those 3 teams that make up the relegation zone in La Liga. Sporting 1-0 down against Racing. And Almeria losing 2-1 in Estadio against Mallorca. They'll be hoping that Levante can do them a favour later on today as they take on Valencia, another game you can follow here on ESPN. Callejon. To Verdu. It's come to Sergio Garcia, brought down by Lanzaro, and it will be a free kick. Now this is in Garcia territory.
Lanzaro, I think, has struggled all night long with some of the movement, some of the attacking players of Espànyol. A little shove in the back there, right on the edge of the box, right in the centre though, I think this is. Verdu's poking the ball past the first centre half, and then of course there's the other one in Lanzaro. Just a little bit too aggressive on the edge of the box here. And actually it's just to the right hand side, which always helps, you know, with free kicks. You don't really want it in the middle. Slightly off centre is perfect.
It's Verdu who strikes it. Not too far away from Joan Verdu then.
The hardest thing with this distance is to get the ball up and down. I think it's a little bit wide and still a little high.
Schneider as well. Tomorrow sees the unveiling of the Ballon d'Or winner. La Liga dominating those nominations. One team in particular, of course, Barcelona, Messi, Xavi and Leo Messi, the three players up for the award.
Go on then. Who's your man?
Well, these award ceremonies are always difficult, aren't they? I think the best player in the world is Leo Messi. There's no real doubt about that, but I think you have to say for his contribution and the way in which he helped Barcelona and then Spain. I'd go for Xavi Hernandez personally, but
yeah, I'm with you. I agree. I'm a big fan of Xavi Hernandez, and I think he's had a magnificent season. I agree on Leo Messi as well. When you look at the calendar year and the World Cup, I think it's going to be a big temptation for Andres Iniesta, obviously, with the big goal in the final, but Xavi for me has been outstanding.
I think you could make an argument for all three to be worthy winners, but personally I'm slightly disappointed Wesley Sneijder isn't in there. I think his contribution not only in the World Cup but of course leading Inter Milan to that triplete was very impressive, as we just see Gavi's shot deflected into Carlos Kameni.
And you think of Diego Milito as well, Dan, how he's not closer is, you could have him in the top three as well for what he did for Inter Milan and a couple of goals in the final, and whatever went on there, I got no idea. See the shot coming in from distance here. There's a little deflection there. And Gavi, the midfield man from Zaragoza, just taking up a shot from distance.
And another Diego Forlan, I think, has been somewhat overlooked. Atleti, and of course Uruguay, would have been nowhere near where they were without Forlan last season. And the fact that he hasn't played for Atleti for the last couple of months and they've struggled, I think is no coincidence.
I think this player's made a bit of a difference, Dan, I have to say, on the left-hand side. Bartolo.
Yes, Bartolo now who gets the ball over the top. Garcia gives away the free kick with 15 minutes to go here in Catalonia. Espànyol 3, Zaragoza 0.
There's Ander that made the run across that far side. Sergio Garcia was the player, I think, that brought him down. A good player from Nico Bartolo.
So Javier Paredes stood over this free kick. Drills it in, it's Jarosik with a touch. Great save by Kameni.
I think it was a great save. This comes through bodies, it's hit at pace. Almost gets over the line, that's close to being over the line, isn't it? It's whipped in there, catches out everybody, including Kameni, but what a good reaction from the big goalkeeper to claw that one out.
Well, that statistic says that he's had 4 saves to make. I think the other 3 have been catching balls really more than saves. That was a great stop, though. Oof. As we see, a speculative effort there from Gavi. He's never expected to get the ball that far back.
Well, that one didn't need saving from Kameni.
Zaragoza need points and they need them soon, and you look at it, they've got a nice run of games over January and February. After this, they're at home against Depor, away to Malaga, home against Racing, and then away to Hércules. The next 4 matches, they have to start picking up points soon, because then it's the case of Atletico Madrid, Barcelona.
You're absolutely right, and it comes off the back of some poor results and bad confidence, but that's got to change very quickly, because you said the big boys will come after those games and there might not be any way back for them.
For Espànyol, it's going to be slightly tougher, as they've got, well, they travel to the Sanchez Pizjuán take on Sevilla, then it's away in Madrid against Getafe, home against Villarreal. 3 tough matches for Pochettino's side, and then I think we'll really see their European credentials.
I think the Villarreal home game will be a fascinating game, Dan, because 2 teams that want to be right up there with the top 2. Maybe just tell us how far this team has come on, Espànyol, against the Villarreal side. They're playing very good football at the moment.
He loses out, and a free kick given to the visitors.
Coming together there, and an aggressive challenge in the end there, right in the middle of the midfield. Although Ducho is warming up for Espànyol to come into the game. Combative midfield player.
Taken by Bertolo, who has maybe done enough to earn himself a start for his next game. Herrera to Paredes. Luis Garcia. Such well to win the ball back. Verdu. Nicely done by Garcia to keep hold of possession.
And it's important, you know, it's important work. We've seen both Garcias now on both sides working back for the team. And I tell you, I can't, express enough how important that is for team spirit, for the whole performance level of the team. It's great to see.
It certainly is. It will be Espanyol's final substitution of this match, as Aldo Ducha will come on to replace Joan Verdu.
I think he's had a fine game, Verdu, I really do. Big fan of his. Technical footballer, can play as an attacking player or as a general midfield, as we've seen him in the latter part of this match.
Ducho, who joined from Sevilla over the summer. Argentine hasn't had too many opportunities to shine. Shows the quality of the youngsters that are ahead of him. Javier Paredes stood over the ball. Wall sneaking forward.
It's a long way out, isn't it? Javier Paredes. It's got to be absolutely perfect, isn't it, from there? With this particular type of strike as well, it's a curling strike. It's not one of those you see sometimes that dip and swerve, have the power on them, a la Cristiano Ronaldo. It is about accuracy, that one.
Just a reminder, still to come in La Liga, Cristiano Ronaldo will be in action with the Real Madrid as they take on Villarreal. Adrian Healy and Tommy Smith taking you through that game, and afterwards Levante against Valencia. Final match on Sunday in Spain. Always an interesting match, of course, the Valencia derby. A match in which Espanyol fans will be certainly supporting Levante, as they'll be hoping that their team can stay in 4th place. Garcia with the clearance at the near post. There's Garcia now, who will just shepherd the ball out for a goal kick. He's got a lot of work to do, there's Javier Aguirre. He certainly knew that when he took over. If you think his record does not make pleasant reading, this is 8th match in charge. So far, just 1 win, 3 draws, and this will be his 4th defeat as coach of Zaragoza.
And when you look down at the squad and who he's missing, suspended Ponzio, the midfield man, yes, he's a starting player. Uche, the Nigerian striker, is injured at the moment, as well as Contini. So, and not many others, so it's not as though he's missing a lot of his squad or important members. 2 or 3, yes. He has got to try and do something with this squad of players.
Just too many of them have gone missing on the pitch, haven't they, over recent weeks? And Herrera. It's Gally. Piolo for the cross in. Well, their season ticket has certainly been worth it so far. This campaign, 8 wins, just the 1 defeat. 5th in La Liga. They'd have certainly taken that if you offered it at the start of the season.
I think there's always optimism as well when you see young players coming through, because they know that this football club aren't going to go out and spend the big bucks like so many others in Spain apart from the top 2. So it's encouraging the way they're playing. The youngsters coming through the side as well. Probably would have appreciated a longer run in the Copa del Rey, I suppose, but that's disappointing. But other than that, it's been good.
Saved by Callahan, off the post. Well, we talked about Álvaro Vázquez's quality in his first goal. That one would have been so much easier to get his brace.
Well, he's got to score. He's got his head in his hands, and no matter why. We saw the quality of his first effort. This, again, is joke play at the back. Jadasic this time. I mean, it's right there, isn't it? That's not a difficult finish, Dan. Jadasic, good on the ball, not this time. It gets through the goalkeeper initially. That is an open goal, really, from Álvaro Vázquez, particularly when you consider how he finished his first one after a couple of minutes after being on the pitch. He will be annoyed because goals are critical, they're crucial. Goal dust for strikers. What a chance to get another one.
By the way, what was Jadasic doing?
He's a midfield player, really. I remember Jadasic as a central midfield man. He's gone into the back 4 here and continues to play there with Aguirre.
He did something very similar against Sevilla earlier on in the season, gave the ball away. Álvaro Negredo then scoring the winner in the 90th minute. Ball over the top, taken down by Garcia. Handball is the appeals from the Espànyol captain. I think it may have been, looking at his reaction. And surely now it must be 4. And there it is, Sergio Garcia's first goal in an Espànyol shirt. They don't get easier than that. Zaragoza seemed desperate for Espànyol to get their 4th. In the end they do, with just 4 minutes of this game remaining. Espànyol 4, Zaragoza 0.
Well, it's great for this man, isn't it? Sergio Garcia's first goal. You can see what it means to him there again. The sorry faces of the players. The goalkeeper here, it's 4 times we've seen it now from this man, Leo Franco. Again, I got no idea what Zaragoza are doing at the back. They continue to present Espànyol with goal-scoring opportunities and simple ones as well. A nice little heads-up play here from, I think it was the striker Álvaro here. Since Sergio Garcia coming in. In fact, it isn't. There it is there. It's Luis Garcia to Sergio. An empty goal. A simple tap in, and it goes from bad to worse for them. It could be 6, couldn't it, right now, easily.
A Garcia goal as Luis links up with Sergio. Comical defending from Zaragoza. Although you feel that Javier Aguirre won't be seeing the funny side of it. Lafita. Zaragoza in serious trouble, and it looks like they won't be allowed to buy in the January transfer window either.
I mean, we can talk about the individual errors at the back there, but for me as well, you know, it's a team game, by the way, and the likes of Lafita here on the ball, and there, Bertolo, all the other players have got to do their share in defending as well. I don't see a team display out there from Zaragoza, even though there might be a lack of ability for whatever reasons.
There doesn't seem to be the cohesion that we've seen from Espànyol, has it, in this game, and certainly throughout the campaign so far. A long shot drilled in, well wide from Adam Pinter.
You know, I can speak from personal experience of relegation, Dan, and the key thing at the time at my club, Middlesbrough, was that there was a real strange atmosphere. There was a sense that players weren't really together. Again, we see the calamity at the back here. It's a simple tap in, but look at this. I mean, that's twice. Horrendous back passes. That time from the substitute, the youngster, Adam Pinter, allows the goal on that situation. But every goal, you have to say, from Zaragoza could have been prevented easily. There has to be a togetherness in a squad. You know, you win together, you lose together, you try your best to get out of it together. And it's difficult to be too critical on one game here that we're taking a very close look at, but you just don't see it, do you, from the players, the body language, almost an expectancy to lose games.
These sort of games, certainly we heard from Javier Aguirre before the match, he was expecting Zaragoza to come here off the back of that win against Sociedad and put Espànyol under real pressure. But from the get-go, it has been one-way traffic. Raul Garcia to Chica. They're looking for 5.
I think really it could have been a scoreline, whatever Espànyol really wanted it to be. If they needed extra goals, I think they could have got them. They could have had 2 there with a simple miss from Alvaro. They were gifted by Zaragoza. It's not as though Espànyol particularly raised the tempo to any way in this second half. It's just they've been gifted opportunities.
Ball taken down the right-hand side now by Callejon. Yeah, found there by Vitolo. Brought down Jose Callejon. See if Victor and Fernandez will play all the 3 added minutes. They will be going home happy, maybe via a couple of cafes around the stadium. Of course, now non-smoking cafes in Spain. Garcia with the ball over the top, headed away. And Muniz Fernandez brings proceedings to an end here at the Cornellà al Prat Stadium. Espànyol with a very convincing victory over a very poor Zaragoza, Robbie Mustin.
Yeah, you said it. I think we can look at this from both sides. Both sides as well, very important. Zaragoza, very poor, and it's going to be important that they pick up because they're struggling massively, and on this form, they're going to get relegated. For Espànyol, what a good performance. Not too disappointed with the cup result during the week and have bounced back with a